Welcome to the Midlife Spin.
A little unhinged and definitely unmuted. Because the change needs a better publicist and we're taking the job.
Hi, welcome to the Midlife Spin. I'm Kristin Holmes.
And I'm Christina Cervantes. We're talking all things hormones, hot flashes, and everything in between.
Because the change needs a better publicist.
All right. Episode 1. How do you feel?
Like that. That's exactly how I feel. A little all over the place, but no, I'm good. I'm excited to do this.
I'm excited too. I can't believe it's actually happening. We're going live. We're getting it out there. We've been talking about this for months and months now, if not years. We didn't even know when we were talking about it years ago that we wanted to do this, but it's been something that we wanted to
kind of put out there and just talk about. And
exactly.
And it's, like we can tell you this is going to be an adventure. So, and we're in this together. And so we're going to do this. But, I think right now we should start with telling them about how we even became friends.
Yes. So, let's chat about it. How did we meet?
Yes. So we met in 2018.
It was 2018. It was the fall of 2018. A crisp fall day in Chicago. Let me set the scene. Sun was
shining. And Christina came walking into the 17th floor.
See, I don't exactly remember the day we met, but I just feel like I can't picture that job without you,
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean, because it was like you started and I think you had already been there probably a couple days. No one had met you yet. Mm-hmm. And then they brought you upstairs to our floor. Mm-hmm. And then when you came in, you were introduced to everybody. And we were just kind of, hi. I don't know. It was kind of like, hi, how are you doing? And then I would come down to the 9th floor and chat with you. And then I think it just kept building from there. And then it was coffee runs. Avocado toast.
And
then our crazy
life. Yeah, we just bonded. So
conversations and just in general, and then also we then we started doing fun happy hours, and that's a whole other story.
But I'm sure we'll touch on those at some point in the podcast. Yeah. So kind of just to set this scene a little bit more, I was at the front desk. So I was always just kind of back in the day, this is pre-COVID. At 9 to 5, my butt was in this seat from 9 to 5, not 4:59. But bet your ass I was out the door at 5:01 for sure. So Kristin would more so a lot of times come down to the floor that I was working at. And we would just chit chat. So I'd be ordering the snacks for the office, planning the events. And she was always so welcoming and wanted to just make sure that the 17th floor was also incorporated in all these fun things. So she would come chat with me and grab some snacks for that floor and okay, you're doing this event. Let's get some decorations for us too. Let's include everyone. She's always just been so inclusive. And who knows, we probably just started bitching about something or venting. Kind of when you trauma bond with someone.
I think we had there was enough. Where we worked in general, it's always been a little crazy, but there was constant change. There's always something going on. Mm-hmm. But we definitely, we started just always having these conversations, and then we, exchanged numbers, and we started texting and, and hanging out outside of work and going and doing these fun things.
And I think too, remember that's when I was really starting to, or I was trying to grow my fitness brand. Yes. I was very into health and wellness, which I still am. Yes. I'm very much into the health and wellness. Obviously, my priorities have shifted over the years, but in that time, the 2018, 2019 era, I was growing my own brand. I was very much into counting macros, putting together meal plans for people, putting together workouts for people, all these things. So that's something we also talked about.
Yeah.
Because you were very interested in it and didn't really have too much knowledge on the subject yet. Nothing like now.
No, I didn't. No.
And so we kind of, bonded and talked about that. And you were always just so supportive of what I was doing and so encouraging. And so thank you, friend.
And then we just, we continued our friendship even after we stopped working for the same company.
Oh, yeah.
And, continued catching up and oh my God, I'm having a hard time.
No, yeah.
Catching up and just, doing all the things. I think the fun thing is that no matter what we were what was going on in life. And even if we didn't see each other all the time, we were always talking to each other. You know, we'd touch base, catch up. And it was like nothing ever, like it could have been months that went by and you wouldn't have known that months went by of us talking.
And it's so nice to have a friend like that. You know, I feel like everyone should have at least one friend in life like that where no matter how much time goes by, you can just pick up right where you left off. And it's just such a comforting feeling.
Well, and I think the most important thing is you need a friend that's, you know, you need that non-judgment. Like being able to just say how you feel, talk about it, and talk about like your crazy symptoms you're having, or I'm sorry, you're unhinged. I don't even know what the right word is anymore.
You know, it's okay to say crazy because we know we're not saying it in a mean light, a negative light.
But just that, having that, you know, that non-judgmental, like, just vibe. Like you can, be able to talk about the things and not worry about like what someone's going to think about it, or like, what do they think of me now? And I think a lot of times women in general run into that because they can't be their authentic, genuine self. Right. Because they're afraid that even their friends are going to judge them or talk about them behind their back, or do something that's uncomfortable, I don't even know what the right word, where I'm kind of going with it, but like going. Just that, like that comfort, like I think we need more of that. We need more of that comfort in our friendships and stuff. And then I think that's where you're going to get more people talking about their hormones and their crazy feelings and stuff, because they're not worried about who's going to judge them. Exactly.
And man, what a journey our friendship has even had. I'm like, as you're talking and I'm thinking about all these things, and like you said, through every season of life. I mean, and when I met you, it was 2018. I was single. I was living in a studio. I was, doing my health and wellness thing. I was all over the place. I was a little unhinged in different ways. I'm just going to put it that way. We might go into that. We might not. Who knows? But again, like to your point, you were just that person that I know would never judge me. And that was that point in my life where like I needed a friend like that, because I just didn't even know what I was going through myself. Yeah. And then as our friendship grew and we just started sharing about all the things, and now that we're going through this midlife, which now I know that's what I'm going through. Mm-hmm. And you were going through it then. Did you even know?
No, but not at the time, but probably if I look back at it now, it would explain a lot of those tears. Right? And a lot of those like crying, like going down and standing at your desk and crying. I mean, because I was so like just all over the place. It would explain a lot of things. It probably would explain a lot of moments in life if I kind of went back and said, oh, well, maybe it is something like this. Yes. But I constantly, was feeling it was something else. It was either I wasn't happy with somebody, or I wasn't happy with my job, or I wasn't, I wasn't thin enough, or I felt like these external icky factors. Yeah, just all this stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And I had a point. What was I going to say?
It's okay. It's that brain fog.
I know,
that's
literally.
That moment
like
where you're
I had such a good point that I was going to make, and it completely escaped my mind. You guys, women, or brain fog it is for sure a symptom. I got it. Being able to reflect back now, right? Mm-hmm. For me, being able to reflect back now on the last 5 years of my life, knowing what I know now explains so much. Yeah. And like you, I was blaming it on everything else, whether it was I wasn't happy where I was living, or it was my job, or it was how I looked, or I was like, oh, maybe if I dye my hair this color, I'll be happier. Like, it's kind of like you try to fix these external factors, and then it's all your internal stuff. Yeah. Not that I didn't look internally either. You know me, I've always been about self-development, growth, mindset, reading. Readers are leaders, or leaders are readers, whatever that saying is. But I was doing all those things. And I was still feeling blah. But now there is an explanation. So for me, this podcast, I want to be that voice for you. Like, I want to be that voice for other women going through this. So maybe we can alleviate them having to sit there and think, what is wrong with me? Like we were.
Yeah.
And it's like, but like nothing's wrong with you.
No,
That's the
nothing's
thing.
wrong with
Nothing's
you.
wrong with you. This is a natural thing to go through in life. The only thing is it hasn't been talked about, and the information has not been put out there for us until very recently.
Right.
And you have to search for it.
Yes. And there's more options. Like there's things out there that can help you feel okay or better in those moments, right? Like to help you kind of get through each cycle, each level, like however you want to phrase it. Like each moment there could be a year that it is something as simple as hormone therapy, or it could be a year that it's like more magnesium and fiber in your diet,
your diet,
or
exactly.
Right, or you're doing red light therapy, or you're whatever you're doing,
or you're getting more rest,
right?
And that's okay too. Like you dial back the workouts, you change your workouts. I know that's something that I've been doing recently, where I all of a sudden got into doing these classes, like because we were renovating, I didn't have a bathroom, I needed a shower, I signed up at a gym. That's literally how it started. But then I found this community, and that's the thing, I'm all about community. This podcast is gonna be about community. So I joined this gym, and it was classes. I'm like, I was never a class person. I'm like, I lift weights. Ooh, I was like a meathead, remember?
Yes.
Like protein lady.
Well, I wouldn't call you meathead, but I know what you mean.
And I'm like, I'm not a class person. And so I started doing these classes these last few months. And you know what? Too bad I found them a little too late, because 10 years ago, they would have been a perfect thing for me to do. You sent me a podcast about this that I listened to last week before we recorded episode 0. I'm like, wait, no one knows about this. So after I got home, I canceled the classes I signed up for that week, because doing this like moderate intensity exercise for women our age literally will do nothing for you.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to say it does nothing for you, because obviously anything is better than sitting on your couch all day. But
right.
If you really want to give yourself the best movement that you can at this age, you need to be focusing on strengthening your bones.
Yes.
Because if you don't have like high bone density, what are your muscles going to grab onto, right? And that's what they talked about in the podcast. So you really do want to do more, how they explained it, which I loved. Okay, let me set the scene again.
Okay.
That's gonna be my phrase of the episode, I guess. Set the scene. But so they said, think about if you are lifting a weight, the max amount of weight for you to do 1 rep. Okay.
Right.
Think about that. Now, dial it back to 70% and do 5 reps. Pick 3 exercises, do 5 reps, and that's it.
Yeah.
But to start off, you're doing 20-25 minutes of band work. And you might be doing more band work than you are lifting.
Right.
Okay.
Doing that stretching, doing that warm up,
which is,
doing all of those
even
things.
different than stretching, they said. Again, all these things, I'm like, mind blown. Okay, I'm learning so much. And then you wrap it up with a little bit of HIIT. Like you want to be doing something that's like you can't breathe.
Right,
like
you want to get like
max, like 5-8 minutes.
Right, your
That's
heart
it.
rate is high.
Yes.
Like your heart rate high.
Yes.
For just a minute, and then
Yes.
stop, and then you're done.
And then you're done, and you do that 3 days a week. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you can sprinkle in Pilates. I know that's like the whole trend now, Pilates princesses and all that, which I can't even, like, I'm a Pilates matcha girl now. Again, I cannot believe I'm admitting that. But it's okay to do those things.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this week, I'm going to be doing 3 heavy lifting sessions. I have my 2 Pilates classes, and that's it. I'm not doing those high rep, low weight, jumping around, rah classes anymore.
Yeah.
No, because I'm like, I need to focus on what's going to be good for me now.
It was interesting to listen to it.
It was
'cause
so
like,
interesting.
Oh, I thought I had to do all this. I thought I had to go and walk 7 miles, and then I had to go and do all this.
Because,
ride the bike and do, crazy, like 7 different types of lifting and doing it, all these different reps. And then it was like, oh, it's really just that simple. Like it's not that complicated. And it's something that's actually manageable. Like you can actually fit it in your day and your routine.
And that's key.
Right.
And that's key for a lot of women, I think, and just people in general is it has to be manageable for you to stick to it, right? If you're talking about like a 2-3 hour routine every day, or it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Life be lifing, like life happens, shit happens. I mean, you guys were just telling me about how many travel plans you have the next 8 months. And if you're thinking like, oh, but I got to get in my 2-hour workout or whatever,
Right.
on my 10,000 steps.
You're not going to do it.
You're not going to do it.
You're just setting yourself up to fail.
Exactly.
Even like when I bought the vibrating platform fitness thing, I don't even know what to call it. Like it's just this vibrating plate that you stand on.
I think they call it a plate. Yeah.
But like I thought, oh, like you do this and you do these like major workouts on it. And then I was like reading more and more about it, and they're like, no, you really only need to do it like 3 times a week, like for 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes you said.
Like,
yeah.
and just just getting your like circulation going, getting all it helps with these various things. But then it was like, oh, I only have to do it 3. So now like that whole routine that I set myself up for, like, so I went into Gemini and I was like, hey, I got all this stuff. Okay. I want to do all these workouts. Plus I want to read a book. And I want to read this many books this year, and I want to watch less time on my phone. I had all this stuff, and I gave it all to them. I'm like, put this routine together. And they started me at 6 a.m. and all the way, and it was like, I can't fit all of it. Like I would literally, so
your job would be
6 to 6:15. I'm doing red light therapy while standing on the vibrating platform, and I'm supposed to also in that 15 minutes drink 16 ounces of water.
Read your book? No.
And 16 ounces of water while I'm vibrating. I don't know. That might be a little weird, but
we might need to get you an IV or something.
I might get sick. But so it was like that first 15 minutes, I'm doing all that. And then I'm like, oh, and then I go into, like breakfast. And then I go into like, I got to walk. And then I had the dog, walk the dog. And all these things, all before I start work. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know that I was so overwhelmed by it that I was like, I'm not doing this. So now I just like, I pick like when I do the red light therapy or when I do the vibration plate thing, I'll just pick a time and go up and do it. I do have to say though, the vibration plate is helpful in the morning because I know for me, like my, like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm sore, like my joints are sore and stuff. And it kind of like loosens me up and I feel like I feel much better. But you would think, okay, Kristin, you know that, so why don't you do that every morning?
Yeah.
Or do it 3 mornings, but I haven't. I've been doing it at night.
And I mean,
but
you're doing
I'm
it.
I'm finding whenever I can do it, right? And then doing the red light therapy and all that stuff. But but it's hard. It's like you think you have to do all this stuff, and then you're like you do all the work to get this routine together. Yeah. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna start the new year like this. Yeah. This is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be right in this, and then you're like.
And I think too,
now I'm overwhelmed.
It's our personality. I feel like both of us are very high achievers, go-getters. So when we set up this routine or whatever it may be for ourselves, and we really do give it our best effort, but we overload ourselves. But then we feel like, well, I kind of let myself down. We kind of get down on ourselves about it, and it's like I'm an all or nothing type person. It's either like I'm going 110% or I'm doing 0. But I have tried so hard, and I'm still trying now to realize that, but some things only need 80% of my effort. Yeah. And that's okay.
But also, even if you do it and you mess up or you don't do it because you're like, oh, this is too much, then you just pick up and you do it again. Yeah. And you just keep doing it or doing something different until you find what actually works. Yeah. Maybe that one doesn't work, and maybe it's, like whatever, but you switch it up a little bit and you try it next time, and then eventually you find your flow.
You totally do. And I'm excited to start, speaking of routines, like I'm excited to start this new routine this week. So last week after I left here, I canceled my classes, and I could have scrambled to just get that new routine in place, but instead I literally rested all week. All week. And I think it's just what my body needed. And that's another thing that I'm learning to dive into in this time of my life is really listening to my body. Yeah. And like not pushing myself. And there's a difference between like being lazy and not pushing yourself, right? There's a difference, because I know I'm not a lazy person. But I also know that there's some days where I'm like, but it's okay to rest. Right. And I'm saying that out loud because I'm still kind of teaching myself it's okay to rest. Right. Like, it's okay.
Well, I mean, for me, I would love to rest. Like I keep trying to create this like better way of like bedtime and like go to sleep and like get a whole night's sleep. And I don't. Like I still don't. Like there are moments I do, but like I don't feel restful and then rested. And then like the weekends come and I'm like, oh, I'm just not going to do anything. I'm going to rest all weekend. But then I still don't get the sleep. And I'm like, it's the sleep that is messing me up. I need the sleep. I need really good sleep. And I need not to wake up in the middle of the night and have to pee.
Well, maybe
I need that to stop. I need it to go away.
Do you drink a lot of water before bed?
Yes. But I don't drink a lot of water, but I do drink something before I go to bed, and I know I need to stop that. So like I'm trying, like probably not as much. I have my moments. So, yesterday, I ate late at night and stuff like that, but trying to like set my time frame, right?
Yeah.
Like, and kind of working with the sun.
This okay.
So like
tell me more.
Getting up and you're eating and you're drinking and you're doing all that stuff while the sun is out. Well, that's harder in the wintertime, right? Because you're like, I'm not eating dinner at 4. I'm not quite at that place. So
I don't mind a 5:30 dinner reservation. I'm just saying.
Right. I don't mind going to, eating at 5:30 or whatever, but a lot of times I don't have time.
Right.
Like I'm not quite at that level or at that point because of work or whatever the case may be.
Exactly. It's 4:00.
But just if you can, like I've been trying to focus on like my food intake being kind of in that time frame. So like during winter, I've been trying to be better. Like at least this has only been, let me tell you, it's only been like 2 weeks. So we're not going crazy. And I'm not saying I've been doing this forever, but like eating and drinking and having my meal at dinner. And then maybe I do end up having a snack or whatever the case may be, but like early evening and then stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can have is like water or tea for the rest of the night. But now my thing is, we need to stop drinking like at 10 o'clock. Like you need to stop drinking like at...
What time do you go to bed?
Well, it depends. Like I'll go upstairs and be in my room probably... Sometimes I'm in my room early. Like I'll be upstairs like 7 or 8 o'clock. Sometimes I'll go downstairs and I'll watch TV.
Yeah.
And then I'll end up in bed probably like 10:30 or whatever.
Yeah.
But it takes me... But I'm not falling asleep till after midnight.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm waking up when my husband comes to bed.
No, I feel ya. I feel like I have my morning routine down. Like I have it down packed. It's down to a science at this point. It's years and years of development. The evening is still what I struggle with. And I'm an early to bed. I mean, I would love to be sleeping by 9 o'clock. But when you're kind of like wrapping up your day and then you have to eat dinner and there's just so much to like do in the evenings that and like now I'm talking out loud. This sounds like an excuse, but it's sometimes hard to wrap up your evening that early. But I know that it would make me feel the best if I did. So that's just something that I'm personally going to be working on and I'm just going to throw myself under the bus. Like I need to cut the Netflix, but I am a person who I truly enjoy watching a show at like in the evening. Like I like watching something, but I know that's an hour, which sometimes turns into 2 hours of my evening. And there's my 2 hours that I'm gonna go ahead and say that I don't have enough time. Like I know what my faults are, okay? But that's what I like to do to wind down. Like I want to turn my brain off. And my phone's on Do Not Disturb probably by like 5:30. I'm like, listen, this isn't an emergency. If it's an emergency, you're probably start on my phone and you can get through to me. But like the outside world to me is like shut off and it's me time. And that's what I like to do. Yeah. But my newest thing is I really want by 8 o'clock, like is my wind down time, I'm calling it. And I have my hat set, like the music turns on. I'm like, okay, I need to I make like a sleepy tea and I put some other powder in there. I can't remember what it's called right now to help with my digestion. You rest and digest type of thing. And ideally, I want to read 10 pages of a self-development book. I want to drink my tea. I want to do some meditation on the hatch. And I want to be sleeping by 9. I mean, I probably stick to that. I haven't been sticking to it. Well, I just like, ooh, one more episode. Like, oh, this is so good. What you going to do? Like, I know. Why do I do this to myself? Because then it just throws off my next day.
I'm the same way. Sometimes I'm upstairs and I'm just going through one reel after another, and I never turn the TV on. Other times I'm binge watching a TV show, or I'm downstairs with my husband. And that's another thing is like, when you're on two different schedules and you're like, okay, I'm going through this and all these changes in my life, like all these hormones and all this stuff. So all I'm being told, and I've been told this from like my weight doctor, all these different sleep. You need to fix your sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Once you fix your sleep schedule, then you go on to the next step. I still can't fix my sleep schedule.
Yeah, it's so true. Sleep is so important, and there was a week or two that I wasn't necessarily doing my evening routine, but I was in bed by 9, and my alarm was going off at 4:30, and I have to say I did feel a shift. Now I wasn't getting to my reading, and I wasn't necessarily doing the things I wanted to do before I went to bed, but to your point, my first thing is I really need to get to the place where I'm going to bed and waking up at the same time every day. Mm-hmm. And that's really going to make a significant difference. And then you layer it in. Right. And then you add that.
Well, that's what they said to start with. Like, no matter what, no matter how you feel, go to bed at the same time, sleep at the same time. Mm-hmm. But then I would never see my husband. Yeah. Because we're on two different schedules. Like, two very different sleep schedules. Yeah. Like, he could stay up all night where I'm like, if I tried to stay up late, I'm falling asleep watching a TV show. I have to be like, no, he even knows at this point, you good for 30 more minutes? I mean, like, you good for a 30-minute show? Or do you need...
say you are you?
Sometimes, and sometimes not. Sometimes I'm falling asleep. But it's, it's like, okay, so is it Monday through Friday? It's just me. And then like I watch TV with him on the weekends. Like, I don't know how to keep up with it, but it's the same thing. Like, it's the same thing with even like, I think at this age in my life, I love having friends that everybody is just, they all own their own lives and they're doing their thing and nobody's concerned when you're not reaching out or talking or whatever the case may be, because you're just trying to get through the week. Like, you're trying to make sure you're sleeping.
There's so many
You're making sure you're getting all your supplements and food and vitamins and all the things that you can't, it's like, I don't have time to be hanging out and all the time. Like, I would go crazy. I would be overwhelmed with that schedule. Yeah. Like, if I was like so busy and running around, and I don't know that I could maintain or manage all that.
And that's one thing I love about our friendship as well, is that there's never any like guilt or pressure like to get back to a message, or even if we've had plans and we've had to reschedule or cancel at the last minute, it's just because of like how we're feeling, like physically, mentally. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Like, you don't even need to tell me why. Right. It's just like, you always understand, and so do I. Well, yeah. And there's never any guilt. And going back to like no guilt, no judgment. And it's so nice. It's so nice.
And I have a lot of, honestly, all my friends are pretty much like that.
That's great.
Everybody is pretty much like, it's cool. Like, and you know what? They come to me or vice versa. It's like, I'm exhausted or I've hit my limit. Mm-hmm. I don't even think I can go out today. Everybody's just like, no, I totally get it. Yeah. I totally get it. I totally understand it. Don't even worry about it.
And if people don't, I always tell myself, some people in life are in your life for a season or a reason, and it's okay. It's okay to move on.
Yeah. It's you're in midlife is spinning, right? It's spinning. It is. It's spinning all around, and like, you're just trying to find the balance in that spin.
Yeah. Like, and this switch can flip like in an instant. Yeah. I mean, I remember we had plans just a few weeks ago, and we confirmed earlier that day. Like, I confirmed, like, yes, I'm good. Like, we're going to go to dinner, meet at this time. And like an hour and a half before, I'm like, you know what? I've had a flare up. I don't know what it was. I feel terrible. Right. I feel uncomfortable. I just like, I don't want to leave my house. Mm-hmm. And you're like, cool, that's fine. No problem. We ended up doing like a 3-hour phone call the next day instead. But like, it was like, I get it.
Well, yeah. And I probably at the time was like, thank God. I don't want to leave the house. I'm so tired. But I think that's the other end that like maybe people aren't admitting on the other side of the friendship, that they're just like, yes, they canceled. I'm so happy because they don't want to disappoint you. They want to keep going, and they'll push through it. But then they're like, oh, wait. And then the person cancels. You're like, oh, I didn't want to go out anyways. And I probably said that. I was probably like,
I think you did. I honestly think, but because I feel, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
But I think you
now
did
I
tell
don't
me
have
that.
to go outside in the cold, or now I don't have to whatever. I can stay in my comfy clothes and do nothing. But like, that's okay though. That's okay. Like, and I think that's the thing, is that we have to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Like everybody needs to have a level of I don't even know what the right word is. I can't even. It's not
compassion.
Understand, compassion.
Yes.
Just be like okay, and just be like, I don't know. Just be genuine, and just let people live.
Just let people live, like
right, and know that it's not you.
No, it's not you. It's
probably their hormones. And it's probably your hormones. I don't know.
It's so funny because speaking of like when you were happy that I canceled, I was never like this, but now I'm like the opposite of FOMO. Whatever the opposite of FOMO is. Okay, wait, I got it. It's F.O.B.I. I have fear of being invited now. Like, please,
yes.
Like, don't invite me. That way I don't have to think of an excuse. Or you know what? What I've actually done recently is I flat out just start off with a no, because I'm going to set the expectation here. For those listening, my hands are down. The bar is low, people.
Right.
I'm saying no. And then you know what? If I wake up that day and I decide I want to go, then I'm going to embrace that.
Right.
And like, you're welcome.
Right.
But I'm just going to go ahead and be like, I'm F.O.B.I now. FOMO does not exist in my life. I have no fear of missing out on anything. I want to be home with my cat. I'm good.
Right. No,
okay?
I know. I want to be home with Luna. Half the time I'm just like, I'm good. I'll just sit and cuddle with the dog, and we'll watch TV, and
I love it.
I'm totally fine with that. I'm comfortable. I do get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed when like people are like coming in and like, you're invited to this party, you're invited to this thing, you're just like, oh my God. Like in watching my calendar, like I do not like watching it grow.
No. And it's just, I just feel like life was never used to be this busy. I don't know. It's just.
Maybe it's not that busy. Maybe it's just, we've changed.
I feel like that was so philosophical, Kristin.
Maybe because I just changed.
You're right. I think just like
our priorities are different.
Our priorities are different.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing because we are prioritizing ourselves.
Yes.
And it goes back to this too. I'm very much into, again, the routines, bettering myself, self-development. But something I always stand by as well is you cannot pour from an empty cup. Okay,
no.
You have to fill yourself up first before you could even begin to be your best self for others.
Right.
Like if you're not the best self for yourself, you cannot be the best self for others, whether that be your partner, your spouse, your friends, your kids, your pets, like whatever it is, your job, whatever. You have to some extent, and I don't think it's selfish. I don't think it's selfish to self-care and putting yourself first, because
no, it's not.
You have to pour into yourself.
Well, that's where boundaries come.
Boundaries, yes. And all these things come with age, right? And like learning and the journeys growing, of life and 10 years ago I was not this person, and I'm very much less. I'm still a people pleaser to some extent, but I definitely put myself first more so than not these days.
I would say
for sure.
I would say the same thing. Probably could do more of putting myself first, but I am very much a people pleaser.
And that's where our, hardworking, type A, people pleasing. Maybe that's another reason we got along so well. We are so similar in so many ways. We
organized.
We just understand. You get me. Like you get me.
I get it. I get it. And it's easy. It's like, it's like, oh, here, like when we even talked about doing this podcast, we were like, let's have all these ideas. And then you're like, oh, wait, I threw it in a spreadsheet. And then you took the spreadsheet and you made it even better. You're like,
let me just color code this.
And that's how I am. I'm the color coder and I like to do that stuff at work. So for me, it's like, it was so easy to just kind of like throw it all together and, kind of go from there. So I think that's why we are able to like pull this together and be like, you know what, let's just do this. This will be fun, but we can still feel like we're grounded at the same time while we're exploring all the adventures that are about to come.
All the adventures and all the things that are about to come. And, speaking of our ideas and spreadsheets, one thing that we thought of, which I'm so excited to introduce, and we're going to be doing this every episode, is our segment.
Yes.
Is this menopause or are we just unhinged? Let us explain to you what that means, ladies, okay? So how this came about is, countless voice memos that Kristin and I have sent back and forth to each other where we're like Googling all this stuff. Like, is this a symptom of perimenopause or am I just like batshit? The C word. Am I just batshit crazy?
Yeah.
Or is this perimenopause? Or is it a little bit of both?
Right.
And it kind of snowballed from there. I'm like, but how about if we did this every week and we came with the story from the week? Because I guarantee that other women can relate to this.
Yes.
Right? Do you want to start? Do you want to share your story first for the week?
Sure. I'll start with yesterday. Maybe I should start with introducing this one. This is our special guest, Luna, who you'll see pop in and out. She'll occasionally pop in and then she'll be like, yeah, whatever, I'll decide to leave. But she's 4 and she's going to drive me nuts because
she's our mascot.
Yes, you will see her frequently, I'm sure, because she doesn't know how to sit still. But yesterday, I woke up and I was like, okay, I had my whole day set, just to kind of like do whatever and kind of get myself ready and, whatever. And I was moving really slow. And I got a text message and we're having a last minute dinner last night. So I was like, oh, okay, fine. And I was going back and forth because I was feeling icky. Like I was feeling I don't know. I was just really kind of crabby and stuff. So I was like, off. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And I'm going back and forth. And sister was like, my husband was just like, what? Just like, it's not that serious. Like, why? Just say yes, you're going. Like, whatever, we're going to do.
Is that not triggering sometimes?
Right. And I'm like, oh, okay, and I'm like, yes, we'll be there. We'll be there for dinner. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm upstairs and now it's time to get ready. And I'm sitting here and I've put on like 7 different outfits. I'm like, I could not get comfortable because I was so bloated and so uncomfortable. Yes. And I was like, everything I put on was like, it was just not feeling right. And nothing was feeling right. And I've been spending a lot of time expanding my wardrobe and like trying to put more color and try to do all these different things because I've lost weight. I've done all these things. So I'm like, there's days that I feel like so good in what I'm wearing. And I'm like, I could tell I lost the weight. And then the next day I'm like, oh no.
Yep.
So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to throw on a t-shirt and leggings and I'm going to call it a day. And then finally as I'm going through all of this and getting like hot and sweaty and annoyed and just like really moody, I finally looked at my husband and I was just like, just so you know, I've realized at this point that I am very irritable. So I'm acknowledging this and I'm trying to like just own it and trying to not like throw it on him or anybody else. And it was just like, and I had to say it a couple times out loud yesterday to finally get to the point where I was like calm.
Yeah.
And could have fun and relax.
And you went.
And I did.
Yeah. And did you have a good time?
Yeah. No, we had a great time.
Yeah. And what did you end up wearing that you felt comfortable? Because I feel like us ladies need to know.
Leggings in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Like I said.
One of your new graphic tees?
One of the new graphic tees that said New York, representing my husband. So I wore that with a pair of leggings and then I just had like a hoodie on. And I went, it was just my family. Like it was just my family, but
it's how you feel.
Right. And then I got there and I drank on my way there. I drank coconut water. I drank my bloating digestive drink with my greens and I mixed it all together, made one drink and drank on my way there. And by the time I got there, I was still bloated, right? Like I was still a little uncomfortable, but like I could tell I was starting to feel better. I was able to eat dinner.
Well, that's good.
I was able to do that stuff. But like all through that, I'm just like, what the hell is my problem? And then I had to like stop and remind myself, you're just like, I could totally tell it was hormones after I really sat and I thought it took a moment. and just like collect yourself.
Well,
And then saying it out loud to him.
Yeah.
So he knew that like, I am a little unhinged right now. I have a lot of attitude, but I'm going to like try to control it.
Yeah, and it's not you. And that's something you said. Why do we as women, that's the first thing we always say. It's like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I fix this? And sometimes it's just not fixable in that moment, and it's not because of you, and there's nothing wrong with you. You know, and in this instance, like, it was your hormones. You're not unhinged. Right. Your feelings are valid, and that's something that I try to remind myself too, and it's really funny. I mean, of course it's not funny that you were feeling this way yesterday, but ironic because I was feeling the exact same way, where I could like barely buckle my pants yesterday. I put on like my tight jeans, or I should say my non-stretchy jeans, and I was like, oh, hell no. And I put on my stretchy jeans that were like stretched to the max, and I'm like, what the F? Yeah. Like, literally looks like I'm about to birth a little baby. I'm like, what? There's a poop baby in here or something. Like, what is happening? You know, and all day, like, you know, we did go out to lunch, but I'm like, I gotta go home. I'm so uncomfortable. I gotta get home. We got home at 3:30. I literally put pajamas on. I'm like, okay, we're not leaving the house the rest of the day. Pajamas are going on. They're loose. I rested on the couch. I couldn't even eat dinner. I was so bloated. I could not eat for the rest of the day. There's no way that I would have been able to like socialize. Yeah. I couldn't. I'm like, there's no way. Yeah. And then today I was a little nervous. We're filming the podcast. So like, oh my gosh, I hope I feel better tomorrow, because what sucks is that it affects everything. It affects your mood, how you interact with people, how you feel about yourself, your whole charisma, like how much you can eat, how much you can drink. It just affects everything. Yeah. And you know what? We may come to podcasts in just pajamas. We may come to a podcast unhinged, and we may come here. It's going to have to be that way. Crying. I mean, we may even we should put some tissues on the table. Probably. Because we might need those at some point. Probably. But yeah, I'm so, and one of the reasons I was a little late today, I was like waiting for the digestion to exit my body. I'm like, okay, let's go. I got to film this podcast today. I even drink this. I mean, some people out there might know this special tea that I know 99% of the times helps me go to the bathroom. And it was just taking a sweet ass time. I'm like, I got to get this shit out, literally, because I got to film my podcast today. Okay. What was your unhinged moment? Okay, or was it menopause? Is this menopause or am I just unhinged? I don't know. You tell me. So this week, and again, we're going to be talking about all the things on this podcast. No topic is off limits. Right. But, you know, and John and I, so John's my husband, we actually do, when he's not traveling, because he travels 3-ish to 4 days a week, but the nights he is home, we do tend to go to bed at the same time. Yeah. So we're getting ready for bed, and he goes to, you know, like hug and kiss me goodnight, and I just like tensed up. I'm like, man, why do I feel this way, you know? And then I just feel so bad because like it's not him. I know I love him, but I know his, what is that called? The not the words of affirmation, but what like words of affirmation is love language, right? Love language. Like physical touch and things. I'm so sorry, and I wish I could just flip a switch and not feel this way. And so we went to bed, and I was already feeling kind of like, oh, I feel so bad. And then I did fall asleep, but then I woke up to pee, and now it's 2:30, and sometimes I could easily fall back asleep, sometimes I can't. This night, it was one of those nights where like I just couldn't fall back asleep. And 30 minutes, and I don't grab my phone right away. But after 45 minutes of just like staring at the wall, at the clock, I'm like, you know what? Sasha's sleeping, John's sleeping, like no one's entertaining me, so I'm gonna entertain myself. Right. That's not what I mean, people. So I grab my phone, and I'm just, then you know, you start to scroll. It's like the doom scroll, right? And so I start scrolling. I think I was on Facebook, and I got sucked into this article, and it was this woman talking about like how she's had 2 divorces, and she thought it was something wrong with her, and she actually was able to save her second marriage. So like the story ends well, but she was like feeling how I was feeling and like all these things, and through her first marriage, she's like, it's something wrong with me. He's not the one, or whatever it was, right? And then, I mean, this article, I mean, it's gonna be like 10 minutes, but you know, when you get sucked into something, you got to find out how it ends.
Right.
And of course it ends with an ad. Shocking, right? So then I'm like clicking the link, click here to fix your life, save your marriage. I'm like, click here, okay. So I'm doing, you know, take this 5-minute quiz to save your marriage or change your life or whatever. So I'm like, I got to do something. I'm taking the quiz, and then it spits out, if you buy now, it's this price. Oh, click this and the wheel spins, you get 67% off. I'm like, oh God, I got sucked into an app. So I remember like, I didn't buy it because I'm like, this is, you know, there's some things that are worth it and some things that are a trap, right? And that's one of the things we're going to talk about on these podcasts. Like, what is something that we actually found that's helpful? And what is one of those things, how many times in life have you bought something because you got suckered into it, right? I mean, great marketing on their part, but I didn't do it. But what it did, like, open my eyes to is that this is fixable. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with us. It's just what I'm going through right now, okay? And I think, I don't know if I told you about it, but then of course I started getting targeted ads. And then I saw there was this like pee on a stick hormone test. I'm like, oh, I think or whatever, vice versa. You shared with me. So my point is that we all go through this, those 3 a.m. Google searches that make you feel, is this menopause or am I just unhinged?
Yeah.
And 99.99999% of the time, it's our hormones.
Well, yes. And you just got to make sure you're not going down that unhinged rabbit hole.
I know. I put my phone away. Okay, I put my phone away. I didn't buy the app. I didn't subscribe. And I unsubscribed actually because I already had to enter my email. So then I had 5 emails by the time I woke up at 5 a.m. In the 3 hours, between 2:30 and 5 a.m., I got 5 emails from that place.
It happens to me
Stop
all the time.
Leave me alone.
All the time.
And you know what? I don't like that because I feel like they target women like us.
Oh yeah.
Because we just want
answers. You're in your emotions.
You're
feeling a certain way, and
you
you're
like,
be
fixed.
Right, and you want to like save everything, and you're like, what are the answers? And it's really just it's really just giving yourself grace.
It's giving ourselves grace. Exactly. Yeah.
Nothing is going to fix the problem. There may be things out there that can
help, right? Yeah.
Or make you feel better, or whatever the case may be, but it's not going to eliminate it because it's a part of your life that every woman is going to go through regardless.
Yeah, and speaking of that, kind of, you know, segueing into what our main topic of the day is, or like what our main topic of today wanted to be, is hormones, right?
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about like how we're feeling and Googling things and feeling blah, not like ourselves. Have you done hormone testing, and like what led you to even want to get them done?
I have done it twice. So I did it this last summer in 2025, and then I did it the summer of 2024. So the summer of 24, I did it, and it was just kind of like it was more or less like, I talked to my gynecologist about it all the time, but like I had a hysterectomy in 2015, I want to say. 2015. And so, you know, like he loved my gynecologist. He's the sweetest guy. And he sits and listens, and he'll talk all day long with you. So I was in there and we were talking. It was just my normal yearly appointment. And we're just talking about like all the different things and all the different changes and stuff. And he's like, well, you know what? Since you're like making some, you know, lifestyle changes and stuff like that, why don't you start with we'll do this one hormone test. You go and ask your primary to do it. And we'll go ahead and look at where you are. We'll get your starting point. So now I have a starting point. So now from there, I was like, okay, he's like, well, you know, you're in the range of like the beginning, you know, you're in the range of perimenopause. Like, you know,
he actually said that.
Yeah. Wow. Like I was in that like kind of area. And then that's when he was like, we could put you on like the low dose of like I told you, I think in episode 0, I mentioned this. It was like Prozac or something like that. Such a low dose that he says.
Therapy, yeah.
Right, but he says that it helps with people's moods and, like especially during this time, they found high success using this in a low dose. So, okay. But I took the prescription, but I filled it, but I never took it.
Why didn't you take it?
Because I was like, I'm not going on this.
Yeah,
I don't want to go on this because I don't want to deal with. So if I'm fixing one thing,
well, that causes other issues and symptoms.
right? Then then I have all this other stuff going on. So we moved on, and I at least got my starting point, right? So then last summer, I wasn't like I was having a lot of like these weird like rapid heartbeat and like weird like dizzy feelings and like stuff like that, lightheaded. I was like kind of all over the place.
I remember you telling me.
I'm like, what's going on? So then I ended up the next day, I had one bigger episode and it took me a while to kind of like whatever. So the next day I went to the emergency room because I was like, okay, like, am I having a stroke? What's going on with me? And again,
scary.
I feel like I've been through this multiple times thinking, am I having a heart attack or a stroke? And I go, and there's nothing wrong with me. So
but
then,
there's something.
Right. So we went
through
through the whole thing.
Right.
We went through the whole thing, and they're like, you have vertigo.
What?
Really? I just developed vertigo at the age of 49.
Stop it.
Or 48. Now I'm 49. So I don't want to age myself too much.
48 and a half.
So 48. But I was like, that's weird. Like, how do I have that? So then I talked to my regular doctor about it. He's like, you know what? Let's do some more. Let's do another round of hormone tests to compare from last year. But let's do more. Like, look at your cortisol levels. Look at like all these different.
I don't even know what they test.
Yeah, like all the different hormones and like let's do it all. So we did all of it, and again, we're back at. You're definitely in perimenopause. Like this is where you're at. This is your perimenopause. You have these are where your levels are. My cortisol level was normal. Like
and cortisol is like your stress.
Your
hormone,
stress. Yes,
right?
That's where all that's
this.
So that's
much
all
stems from your gut.
right.
And that
so,
I know. I've done an extensive.
But even
gut
like the weight, like if you're carrying all your weight in your stomach, that is from your cortisol levels. But so we went. So I did all that stuff, and he's like, well, you have options. Like, and so my regular doctor was like, we could do hormone therapy. We can do like, there's a variety of things that you can do, like patches and creams and,
this is
okay.
Though. Yeah.
So I'm like, interesting. So then I transferred all my results over to my gynecologist, and then I had a call with him.
Okay.
And we went over it, and he's like, yeah, you're perimenopause, but I don't think you quite need all of this. You don't want to do the hormone testing and all this stuff. So it was like I had one doctor that was like, here, let me give you all of it. The other one was like, slow down.
That's confusing.
I get that you have these things going on and it is hormones, but you're not really at you're not at that level where you need to do these extra things. Like you don't need to do the hormone testing or like the hormone therapy or anything right now. And maybe that's something you want to look at later down the line. But like in this moment, your levels aren't at that point where you need to start replacing and adding. So I was like, okay, fine. But he's like, so we'll, next year when you come back for your annual, we'll test you again, see where your level's at. And I have to do that because I don't get periods. I don't have any of that. Like I haven't had a period since 2015. What? All I have is my ovaries. Yes, because I had the hysterectomy.
Oh, duh.
So I don't have any of that stuff. I don't have those. Right. I don't have those little key points.
Yes, you don't have that baseline.
Right. I have my ovaries, which I'm,
right.
They're all functioning, but I don't have I can just tell you based on maybe I'm ovulating right now. Well, because I'm, I'm bloated or I'm crabby or I'm this, but I don't have bad periods or no periods or missing period, none of that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
I'm just actually pleasantly surprised to hear that both of your male doctors, and that's even an added layer, both of your male doctors even mention the word perimenopause to you because my experience has been completely different where I started going to doctors. So I was 36 years old. And I swear, up until that point in my life, I was feeling fine. Okay. I know I mentioned this. I was in the health and wellness space. Like I knew how to work out. I knew how to eat. I knew to get rest. I knew to drink water. I knew to do all these things. Right. And then I swear overnight, it was like a switch flipped, and it was chronic bloating. I put on so much weight, inflammation, headaches. I just didn't feel like myself. And I didn't, but nothing changed. I hadn't changed anything. And so this just sent me down a rabbit hole of different doctors, different specialists over the course of these last 4 years. And I had multiple blood tests, stool samples.
I remember you doing all the mail-in tests and all that stuff.
Mail-in tests, food elimination diets. I stopped drinking. I went vegan. First of all, I drink and eat meat now. That was a phase because it didn't help. But like I tried everything under the sun. And I'm not in those 4 years. And I went to I went through 2 GI doctors, 1 Ayurveda doctor, 1 holistic doctor, probably something else. But I know like those 4 big ones, all different tests. None of them tested my hormones. None of them ever said the word perimenopause to me. None of them ever. The only thing that I wasn't even diagnosed with anything. They made me feel crazy. Like I would literally show them pictures of how I looked when it looked like I was 6 months pregnant. And they would say, well, it was your stress. I'm like, you know what's making me stressed out? You are making me stressed out. This whole, that there's nothing wrong with me is making me stressed out. And I was put on like 26 different supplements by the holistic doctor. And they also diagnosed me with like hypothyroidism. And I did kind of like you, like I went to fill my prescription. And then I started Googling. I'm like, Googling, right? Because WebMD is always accurate.
Right.
But I just like, I felt in my gut. And sometimes you just have to trust your intuition. Like, I know this isn't right. I don't want to be on medication the rest of my life. I want to heal this naturally. I know that there's something underlying here. Mm-hmm. And I just wasn't feeling better after being on their protocol. I'm like, this is not for me, and that was coming up on 2 years ago. And not until 3 months ago did I ever hear the word perimenopause. So I've been dealing with this for 5 years. And I didn't even know that you can start experiencing symptoms like that young. Like you don't think 35 that you're going to be going through the change because it wasn't talked about.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
And it's so frustrating.
It is. It is very frustrating. It's very frustrating. And I think that sometimes it's just, again, why we're here and why we're doing this. And also like why you're building the community you do, like that you're doing, because you want people to feel like it is okay. Like, it's okay to talk about these things. It's okay to, share your thoughts and your opinions and like what's been working for you, because you don't know, it could work for someone else. It can work for someone else, or someone else's idea might be the one that's like, oh my God, I didn't try that. And that's what works for me.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm excited to dive into like all of it. I'm so excited. We're going to be sharing so many more stories, so many more experiences. We want to hear from you and your experiences. And like Kristin said, maybe what works for us will work for you. Maybe it won't. Yeah. But we're building a community here. We're advocating for women out there going through the change. Because, as our tagline says, Kristin, you want to go ahead.
Because we need a better publicist.
We do. The change needs a better publicist. Yes. And here we are. We took the job.
Yes, we took the job. We accepted the offer.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited.
I am too. I'm excited to do this. And then I'm excited just to just explore all the stuff too. And hopefully people eventually down the line, we want to hear the things that you think we should try too. Because we're willing to try them.
I'll be a test dummy.
Yeah, we want to try. We want to do the things. And you know what? You'll even probably at one point see us doing red light therapy, maybe standing on the vibrating platform.
Oh, no, we're doing at least a segment on the platform.
Yeah, we'll be trying all the things.
At least the segment, okay? We're doing it.
Yes.
While drinking. Yes. In the red light. and doing all the things.
Maybe even some breakdancing or whatever you want to
All
call
the
this
things,
robot.
all right.
I don't know. I'm not a dancer,
Yes.
so don't ask me to dance.
Yes.
But yes, no, I think it'll be fun. It's going to be a good time. What we'll do is we'll just, like keep coming back and listening for more. And, we're going to be here. We're going to be here.
Oh, and
we're
then
going to
do
share.
our
We're going to
animated
do this
outro?
with you.
Okay.
We're going to do this with you. Thank you for listening to the Midlife Spin. Remember, you're not going through it, you're growing through it.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, please subscribe and share with a friend who needs to hear it. Until next time, stay curious, stay open, keep your voice unmuted as we
Spin through midlife together.